Hi everyone, this is AJ Simon, and I'm here to do my proposal for a mobile learning environment for my school, or actually lack thereof. Um, Let me explain that a little bit. I'm going to be a shop teacher, and while I completely support the idea of mobile learning and one-on-one with the computers, I found this assignment to be very difficult. Um, for one, there are so many parameters and so many factors that are unknown for me to be able to do what I believe a justifiable proposal. You know, I would do it over grades, 10 through 12 or 9 through 12, because that's where I'll be teaching. But one of the biggest problems I have is what would work for my classroom for like computer aided design classes and stuff of that nature for actually designing furniture and designing houses and stuff like that. That computer or whatever is going to be completely different than what would be needed for more math or writing or history. I mean, that those other types of subjects, which I believe they are the ones that would need to be more prevalent in the use of the computers, just for the fact that I deal with tools. My stuff's hands on. Most of what people are going to be able to see and find with in my classes and stuff, they're going to be able to see on YouTube videos, or they're going to be able to see on, searching, just for pictures online or whatever. This is stuff that these kids learn nowadays at an early age, even before we introduce or give them a computer in the high school level. They're able to search for stuff like this. I my background for this, I believe, is needs to be kind of put on the back burner. So because of that, like I said, I had a very hard time trying to figure out, where to go, what to do. This to me is an assignment that would need to be done with a committee of people, an actual IT department, or a director of it at least. I'm still learning this stuff. It's hard for me to try to figure out what would be needed. I don't have a clue what would be more necessary for them other programs, or what other programs are even out there for the other subjects. So like I said, that's a very hard issue for me. However, I do see that, I do agree with that. Yeah, they need to be introduced to it, and they need to be introduced to it in such a manner that they are protected, they are safe with the way the mobile learning and everything is nowadays through the internet and stuff. They need to be introduced properly. And I do believe that there's probably a very good um, uh, background in statistics and stuff that are shown, of course, that we've seen through the research, through this assignment and everything, that backs the need for this, for better student cooperation, participation, attendance, behaviors, not to mention the actual standards of scoring and stuff like that. They do better by having a one-on-one system, or even just a better introduction or a better access to computers. So I do believe that it's a good idea. The solution though is, man, that's hard. There's so many different things that go into that. Like I said, which school or what school, are you, or what is the school, more focused on? Where do they want to go? That's going to dictate more as to what your actual solution is, whether it be the iPad or a MacBook or a just a regular laptop, or what. It just depends on that need. And then you go to the actual prices. Well, they can go anywhere from $150 to $2,000 a piece. A computer that I need for CAD with high resolution and refresh rates and all this and that, is going to be completely different than what you may need for, just researching stuff for history or whatever. So that varies so much. So how do you justify going from, say $200 for the 200 kids? So you're looking at what, $400,000 to $2,000 or $40,000 to $2,000 to turn into $400,000 of just the equipment. It's hard to figure that out. And then once again, then you go into the implementation. Wow, that's a big, big question as well. Do you spend the money to give them to seniors? They're only going to be there for a year. Does it justify it? I don't know. Do you give it to just incoming freshmen? They have that computer for 4 years. Well, you're drawing out your timeline of the computer in use, so you're getting more bang for your buck, so to say, than what you would if you just gave them to a junior or a senior, where they have less time to access it, to use it. So that, once again, there's big factors there that I think it's more of a committee and needs to be more researched on a case by case, school by school basis. And where I'm not in a school system yet, I have a hard time trying to narrow that down. The impact, though, like I said, we've seen the research. The impact is great. It can change lives for everybody. Going from just for the fact of some kids don't have the access to the technology. In my household, it's me, my wife, and 2 kids under the age of 6, and we have 2 laptops, 3 iPads, MacBook. Then you go to our smartphones, and then our TVs are smart TVs, and so we have access out the wazoo. Whereas some kids, they may be lucky if they get to use the computer at the library, if they decide to go to the library. So the impact, though, can be great in certain situations. I truly believe. So you'll notice I didn't have a handout because, like I said, I found it very hard to complete this assignment, and I think it's a great idea of the implementation of mobile learning environments, especially in today's age where everything's going mobile. We see it everywhere. So that's where I'm at. Let the cards fall where they may. Were on this assignment for me. If I don't get any good score for it, so be it. But this is kind of where I stood on this, and I thought it was an interesting deal to do the research, but it's just too much information, too many unknowns for me to follow through with the whole concept. Thank you very much.